All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So you guys remember last week we got the fenders pulled off the car, the mirrors, the wing, everything pulled off. We started working on the fenders and realized I didn't have supplies. Well, went ahead and went to AutoZone and got what we need here. So I've already had needle nose. I'm going to use these and get all these little plastic pieces pulled off of here and off of here because I was able to find OEM replacements online. So I was worried about breaking them when I was pulling them off, but now since I have the replacements, I can pull them off no problem. Not worried about them. Got some primer sealer here, and you can put this directly on the metal, so that way it will seal it up and protect it from moisture and coming back with rust on it. And then we got some filler primer here, so this after this we can put this on here, and this will actually fill it up. Then we got our guide coat here. So after we do our filler primer, and then we'll block it like a little tiny bit just to rough it up, and then throw some of this on there, and then finish sanding it, and then any low spots it will show up black on there still. So it'll be the gray underneath, black on top. So when you sand the black off, you want everything to turn gray. If there's any low spots, it will show up with this. So also at AutoZone they had this, and I got it for, I think they had it half off. So this says it changes colors, which is kind of weird. Never seen that, but pretty cool. Just some body filler. Let's see, got a little flexible block here. These are nice to get around like these swoops and stuff like that. That way you don't create like a hard line like anywhere that you don't want it. So I can kind of block it, keep it nice and flat, but it won't, make a hard line there. So that's going to come in useful. And then just some sandpaper here, just an assortment. Yeah, so that's it for the supplies. So everything here cost me about $50, guys. So right now we're $50 into doing this, and that's not including the base coat, clear coat, and yeah, and all the man hours. But if you want it to look nice, you gotta do the labor, put in the time. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna wipe this down real quick because it's got dust and shit all over it. Pull off these clips, that way I'm able to sand in here really well. Pull off these clips, so I'm able to sand in there really well. Then we'll wipe it down again, and then put the primer sealer on there. So let's get to work. All right, guys, so get these clips off of here. You have to like squeeze the back sides of them. I can try to do it by hand, see if I can get it. Sometimes the plastic is real old. Oh, there's a plane. Sorry guys, like every 2 minutes I'm gonna have to like pause the video because my mic is sounding like crap because I think I dropped it too many times, and the planes keep flying over. So if it keeps being skipped and jumpy, it's because of the damn planes. But try to squeeze these clips in the back, see if you can get it through. If not, you have to use the pliers. That one's tight. Oh yeah. Comes another plane. Pause the video. Okay, so now get this back side out. Alright, there's one out of there. Got those two out. Now we're gonna move on to these ones right here. Oh, that came right out. Those two are out, so we'll just repeat the same thing on the next fender. All right, guys, so we got all the clips pulled off both fenders, so now we're able to sand in here. So I just got some 180 right here. Just fold it up, make it easier for myself. And I'm just going to get in here and get all these nooks and crannies. Make sure they're nice and scuffed up so that way the primer can stick to it. So this area is not even seen because the light covers it, but I don't want any of the clear or any of the paint to flake off of here. So we're just going to hit this up real quick, wipe it down, and then I am going to put like a bolt or something underneath here where I mounted it just so I can lift this corner up, because I don't want this corner not to get paint on it. So That's another thing I'm going to do after this. And here comes another plane, so we'll just pick up right after the plane. All right, guys, so I just got done sanding all this down. Just wipe it down real quick. Get all the dust off of here. Just a clean microfiber cloth. All right, it's all wiped down. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the soft pad with a little sandpaper on there, and I'm just going to block it a little bit so that way I can feather out all this mapping here, because when you do the primer it's going to show. So I'm going to try to feather out the mapping a little bit more with some rougher grit, and we'll see how it comes out. All right, guys, so just got the fenders remounted a little bit. See, now there's a gap, so now I'm able to get the paint all the way around both fenders, and it's wiped down with just the microfiber. Now I'm going to go back over it with some rubbing alcohol. So let me wipe it all down, and then we'll start shaking up the paint, which has had plenty of time to heat up over here. It's going to spray pretty nice, so let's get back to work. All right, so got our microfiber, a little bit of rubbing alcohol on here. Just gonna wipe it down to get any of our finger grease and wax and whatever we have on us. Get it all off. We don't want none of that under there. And this will take off any dirt and dust too that's still on there. All right, guys, so everything's wiped down, paint shook up. Let's start laying some this primer sealer down. And of course, here comes another plane. All right, guys, now the plane's gone. You'll be able to hear me now, but we're just gonna introduce this primer sealer slowly to it, because we don't want to have any kind of chemical reaction since we did expose all the layers. So if it was gonna have a chemical reaction, it will happen now. So tip ready, then we're just going to introduce it. I'm not going to try to put it on wet. Oh, hold on, let me close my garage door. All the paint's going straight inside. Alright. Don't want that overspray on the EF. So far, so good. Here comes another plane. All right, plane's gone. Am I recording? Yep, all right. All right, we'll let that tack up. Go do the same thing on the next one. All right, so we just got a quick introductory coat done on the fenders. This one's already ready for coat number 2, so we can go a little bit more heavy on it because it looks like it didn't react in any places, so that's great. So let's knock that out. Coming out good, guys. Back side of mounting brackets here. Prevent those from rusting. Did you guys watch that leaf fall in there? Wow, that sucks. Whatever. But that's what it's looking like. So that's gonna seal it up and prevent the metal from rusting. So let's get this side caught up over here. Alright guys, so that was pretty much a whole can of this primer sealer. It's probably about right here right now. So I'm gonna let it dry. If there's any spots that I see that need it, I'm just gonna walk around and hit those little areas. But we'll let this dry for probably about 25-30 minutes, and then we'll come back. We'll hit it with like 320 or something, or a scuff pad if I have another scuff pad, just to make it rough so the primer, the filler primer can stick to it. So that's the game plan, so we'll come right back. All right guys, so it's been about 30 minutes and these are good and dry. Yep, nice and dry. So good thing I read the back of the can. It said do not dry sand these for 4 hours. So it said you can wet sand it after 30 minutes. So it's been a little bit over 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and wet sand these with some 400 grit using our soft block. So we just wet sanded this with the 400 grit, and I don't want to touch it because it's all wiped down, no grease on it. So now we'll go ahead and shake up the filler primer and start spraying that on there. Yep, same thing, just shake this one up. And the reason why we sanded it is because we gave it a little surface to stick to. And as you can see, the mapping is not there. So that trick that we used with the 180 and the soft block really helped out. So that way there's not hard lines or any type of mapping on these fenders. They came out perfectly smooth. So yeah, we'll just keep mixing up this primer and start spraying. All right, guys. So that's 2 coats of filler primer on there, and I went around the edges a couple times just to make sure that it's built up nicely, so when we sand it down we won't break through to bare metal. So I always put a little bit extra material on all the edges because we don't want to get to bare metal because that defeats the purpose of what we just did. So I have to let this dry for about 30 minutes or so, and then I'm going to come back with the guide coat and spray that all on there, let that dry for a little bit, and then sand it down with the block and see where all of our low spots are where we need to do body work. It's been about 30 minutes, guys, so the primer is good and dry. So we got our guide coat here. Go ahead and coat this all up with this stuff. I never used the sprayable version. At work we have like the it's like in a powder and you rub it on. So we'll see how good this works. I like the powder though, because you can really get down, and like if you scrub it in real good, it will show you all the little pinholes and everything. But we'll see how this stuff works, guys, and I'll give it an honest review and let you guys know if it's worth getting at AutoZone or not. All right, let's see how this stuff goes on. And again, guys, you don't want to use too much, just enough to try to get it in all the nooks and crannies here. And the reason why I'm not using like black spray paint is because it clogs up the sandpaper, and also if you don't get it all off, you could have a chemical reaction because that stuff is like enamel with clear in it, so it will mess it all up. And another plane, luckily it's a small one, but so you guys can still hear me, I bet. First impressions, it's actually kind of nice. Feels like it's a little bit faster than the powder, actually. We know we're gonna have some really bad body work right here. I want to see it real good. All right, so it looks pretty good. Get right here a little bit more. I know there's some little dents right here. I really want to see them. Okay, what's this one looking? Give it a little bit more, just so I can see any low spots here. All right, so we'll let that dry up for a couple minutes. I'll read the back and see what it says, but I'll put it back up. All right, guys, so it's been about 10 minutes. And this stuff is good and dry to the touch. So we're gonna start wet sanding this stuff down, and we're gonna use 800 grit. And it's hot out here, guys. Don't judge me. I'm chilling on my Sunday, guys. So let's get you guys set up on a time lapse and knock this out. Just sanded off the first layer here with the guide coat on there, and you can see low spot right there. Little minor stuff right here. That's probably able to fill in with like a couple more layers of filler primer. That's going to be another low spot. That might be able to be filled in with filler primer also. This stuff is pretty much fine here. This right here, probably another round of filler primer, just to make sure it's nice and flat. Just got to build up the look, just the middle here a little bit. Let's see, other than that, this maybe a little filler primer fix all that. This one is going to be either hit it from the back and try to, wow, that sounded weird, but hit it from the back side over here just to get it knocked out, and then just a little swipe of body filler like around this area here. Little swipe and then blend it all in. It should be fine. High spot right here, maybe just tap it down a little bit. So we got to repeat the process on here and go grab another beer, man. It's hot. All right, this one came out really good, guys. Oh my God, as soon as I do it, it's fucking playing, dude. All right, guys, now the plane is gone, so got the passenger fender caught up to where the driver's side one was, and this one actually has virtually no damage, no type of body work on it. It's perfectly smooth. Like there's like tiny little things, like little tiny low spots, but that's easily gonna come back with more filler primer. But the only part that's not in good shape is down here. So you guys can see low spot, high spot, low, really low. This needs to kind of bend back in a little bit. These are extremely low spots. So all this needs to be fixed. You only really see this much from here up. From here down, it kind of gets coated, but I still want to fix the dents and stuff. So that's going to be for another time. I'm going to go ahead and get cleaned up, start putting all this stuff away because it's getting late already, and I got to go make some dinner and do my thing. But I appreciate you guys watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.